Winner take all. A specific group of voters can win all seats or positions of trust in an electoral district, while political minorities are denied representation. This system is sometimes called majoritarian representation, though most such systems don't always produce winners who receive the majority of the votes in a district. Winner-take-all systems are used in many major democracies, and any election with a single winner is such a system. For elections with multiple winners, the voters can be divided into multiple districts, such as single-member districts with one office holder each, or the election can be held using block voting, in which multiple candidates are elected at the same time by a specific group of voters. Examples of countries that use the winner-take-all system include the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and other countries of the former British Empire. Plurality. As a winner-take-all system, a plurality is a system in which a winner is determined by the number of votes. Specifically, the candidate who receives more votes than others wins, rather than the one who receives the most votes overall. Types of plurality voting include first preference plurality, single non-transferable voting, and block voting, with the first used for single winner elections and the latter two used for multi-winner elections. First preference plurality. One candidate is typically marked as the favorite among voters, with the candidate who is most preferred being elected, as that candidate would have the most votes among opponents. This is the system most commonly used for elections in the United States, and is sometimes called first-past-the-post voting in reference to gambling on horse races, as bettors would gamble on the horse they believe would be first past the finishing post. An argument for first preference plurality is that it ensures that all geographical areas are able to contribute to the legislature. However, it has been criticized for discouraging voter turnout and misrepresenting third parties, racial minorities, and women. Single non-transferable vote. Used to elect multiple winners, this voting system is applied to multi-member districts where each voter casts one vote. In a multi-candidate race for multiple offices, positions are filled by the candidates with the most votes. This system is popular for small elections to offices due to its simplicity and easy vote counting system, though it retains many of the problems of first preference plurality. Countries that use it include Japan, Taiwan, and Indonesia. Block voting. Unlike in the previous system in which each voter casts one vote, in block voting, each voter can cast the same amount of votes as the number of seats to be filled. The usual result is that the most popular party in a district will see its full slate of candidates elected. Block voting is also called at-large voting in elections to appoint representative members to represent the whole membership of a group, such as a city, state, or nation. It gives good representation to the largest political group or party, though block voting has been criticized for producing landslide victories and failing to ensure all neighborhoods in a city are represented. Two-round system. A majority voting system, this is a method used to elect a single winner. Unlike the previous voting systems, candidates in single-member district elections must garner a majority of votes to win, rather than a plurality. This was designed to solve the problem of electing a candidate who is only supported by a minority of voters. As its name suggests, there are 2 rounds of voting, with polling taking place on 2 separate days, but only if nobody in the first round got a majority of the vote. In that case, the top 2 candidates who received the most votes would participate in the second round. It does share the basic problems with other voting systems, but also includes the added expense of a second election, as well as lower voter turnout for that second election. Instant runoff. This system involves a ranking process in which each voter ranks each candidate in order of their preference. This does not require a second election, unlike the two-round system. All the number one preferences are counted, and if a candidate receives over half of those votes, that person is elected. If there is no majority, the candidate with the fewest votes would be eliminated, and this candidate's ballots would be transferred to whichever of the remaining candidates were marked as the second choice. The votes are recounted, and whoever gets the majority wins. The process repeats if there is still no majority. Research has shown that there have been high rates of incomplete ballots and lower confidence in elections. Proportional representation. In multi-member districts, the number of seats that a party wins in an election is proportional to voter support. If each side gets 50% of votes, then each side wins half of the seats. This type of system has been devised to provide more accurate representation of political parties, better representation of minorities, and higher levels of voter turnout. Three basic kinds of proportional representation are party list voting, mixed member proportional voting, and single transferable vote. Party list voting. Each party in an election puts up a list of candidates equal to the number of seats to be filled. Seats are distributed to each party in proportion to the number of votes the party receives. There are two types of list systems, closed list and open list. In a closed list system, a political party predetermines which candidates would receive the seats that the party wins, while voters only vote for the party as a whole, rather than individual candidates. In an open list system, voters do have an influence over the individual candidates who would be elected to fill seats. Examples of countries that use party list voting include Brazil, Spain, and the Netherlands. Mixed member proportional voting. This seeks to combine a single member district system with a proportional voting system. Voters typically get two votes, one to decide the representative for the single seat district and another to decide the party. The former uses plurality voting to decide on the winner, with a candidate with more votes than the others winning. The latter mostly uses closed list voting to decide the winning party. Proponents say that this mixed member system produces more accurate representation of parties while ensuring that each local district has a representative. However, the single-member districts used by this system can experience gerrymandering or manipulation to favor one party. Single transferable vote. Also sometimes called choice voting, this system operates in multi-member districts in which each voter ranks candidates in order of preference. The candidates who reach a certain minimum number of first-choice votes win. If no candidates reach this threshold after votes have been counted, the candidate in last place is eliminated and their votes are transferred to their next choice. If candidates have been elected but there are still seats remaining, the extra votes given to those elected candidates that were above the threshold would be distributed among remaining candidates, the amount depending on the marked preferences they got. The process of counting, eliminating, and transferring votes is repeated until enough seats have been filled. Limited voting. A type of semi-proportional voting system and a variation of block voting, limited voting works like the latter, in which multiple candidates get elected by people with multiple votes. The difference is that these voters have fewer votes than the number of seats to be filled. This system has been inconsistent with its results, sometimes producing proportional results and other times producing disproportional results. It is rarely used worldwide, with only Spain using it to elect the Senate, and many cities and towns in the United States using it for municipal offices and county commissions. Cumulative voting. Another variation of block voting. The difference in this system is that voters are able to distribute their votes among the candidates however they like. If there are 5 seats to be filled, A voter can give 5 votes to one candidate or give 1 vote to 5 candidates each. Like limited voting, cumulative voting has been inconsistent with its results. It is used most commonly in the private sector, such as the elections of boards of directors in corporations. Thanks for watching.